Have you ever noticed someone who seems untouched by time? I'm not talking about the absence of wrinkles or a trendy hairstyle. I'm talking about a certain energy, a light in the eyes that doesn't dim, a vitality that feels deep-rooted, not painted on. These aren't celebrities or biohackers. They're ordinary people. Your quiet co-worker, the friendly barista who remembers your order, the neighbor who always has a calm smile. They walk through life with a subtle rhythm that feels different. While others seem to be fraying at the edges from the sheer weight of living, these people have a resilience, a freshness that's hard to explain. And here's what no one says out loud, that youthfulness isn't an accident. It's not just good genes or a secret serum. It's the quiet, unconscious glow of a spiritual gift. This gift isn't something you buy or study for. It doesn't come from a famous lineage. It manifests in people who are deeply, profoundly sensitive, people who somehow navigated this harsh world without managing to shut that sensitivity down. They're like human antennas, finely tuned to frequencies most of us have learned to ignore. As children, they were often called too much, too intense, too dreamy, too emotional. They felt everything deeply, the unspoken tension in a room, the hidden sadness behind a smile. The world, which often rewards emotional detachment, told them to toughen up, but a part of them couldn't or wouldn't. And that refusal, though it may have brought pain and a feeling of isolation, also kept them connected to something the rest of us lose, a profound spiritual force. This force acts like an invisible elixir. It's a vitality that doesn't age in a conventional way. It doesn't mean they don't get tired or face hardships, but their core energy doesn't break. Their spirit doesn't rust, and it shows. They might not follow fancy diets or expensive skincare routines, yet there's a presence about them that remains, a connection to something unseen that nourishes them from the inside out. The most poignant part. Most of them have no idea they carry this. They've spent a lifetime feeling like they were the problem, too emotional, too out of step. They've searched for answers everywhere but within, not realizing their so-called flaw was actually the first sign of a dormant strength. The secret isn't in what they do, but in how they exist. They aren't trying to be present, they already are. They live from their center, not from a performed persona. That authenticity keeps them close to their source, and that source rejuvenates because falseness ages you, disconnection drains you. But coherence with your true self, that nourishes, it energizes, it protects. They often attract others without even trying, not because of their looks, but because of their energy. You feel calm around them, or inspired, or simply seen. That's not luck or charisma. It's a refined spiritual energy, not because they worked consciously to refine it, but because life, through joy and hardship, stripped away everything that wasn't truly them. What's left is clear. Not perfect, but clear. And that is felt. What truly ages us isn't just time. It's the disconnect. It's the daily betrayal of our own essence. Every time we pretend, every time we choose the mask over our own face, a part of our soul withers, and the body eventually follows. But those who keep their soul alive, even unconsciously, don't age the same. They are connected to an energy that doesn't understand clocks or calendars. So the first question whispers itself, could this be you? Have you always felt a little different, sensed a little more, carried an intensity you couldn't name? You might not be broken. You might be awake. And if you're awake, something can be activated. But first, we need to understand how that light gets buried in the first place. That's where our real journey begins. If that first chapter sparked a flicker of recognition, let's lean into that feeling. You see, this spiritual gift, this source of quiet youth, isn't a permanent, unbreakable heirloom. It's more like a delicate inner flame. And for most who carry it, long before they ever sense its warmth, a wind comes to blow it nearly out. It usually starts with what we could call the first fracture, a moment in childhood often quiet and unseen, where the world feels suddenly unsafe, harsh, or painfully confusing. While other kids bounce back, you feel the tremor deep in your soul. You're the one asking, why does this hurt so much when no one else seems bothered? That profound sensitivity, the birthplace of the gift, is almost never recognized for what it is. Instead, it's treated as a liability. You're told you're too sensitive, that you need to be less dramatic to build a thicker skin. And so the great adaptation begins. You learn to turn down the volume on your intuition. You swallow your tears to avoid being a burden. You master the art of the polite smile when you're screaming inside. You construct a personality that's more acceptable, more palatable, less you. And with every one of those choices, every time you silence a truth to fit in, you're not maturing. You're building a wall between your soul and its source. You're burying the gift. You can survive like this for years, even decades. You might build a successful life on top of that buried self. But a slow, spiritual fatigue sets in. It's not in your body yet. It's in your soul. A dullness behind the eyes. A sense of going through the motions. This is the flame, enclosed in a cage of fears, masks and expectations, gasping for air. And here's the crucial, difficult truth the spiritual bypassers won't tell you. This gift isn't reawakened by forcing positivity or chanting empty affirmations. It doesn't respond to you pretending everything is light. It responds to one thing only: raw, unfiltered authenticity. Its awakening is not a gentle sunrise, it's an internal demolition. It requires turning toward the very things you were taught to hide: your old angers, your secret grief, the parts of you that feel broken or ashamed. Because the gift only lives in what is real. It withers in the presence of any performance, no matter how spiritual it looks. When you finally face that storm within, something subtle shifts. It's rarely a lightning bolt of enlightenment. It's more like a forgotten part of you takes its first deep breath in 20 years. You reconnect with a wisdom deeper than your thoughts, and that connection starts to show. Your gaze softens yet becomes more present. Your energy feels calmer, more grounded. People might say you seem different, but they can't pinpoint why. What they're sensing is your energy, reordered, your soul flickering back to life, shining through the cracks in the persona you built. But this is the critical turn. This reawakened gift is not self-sustaining. It's like a muscle. Neglect it and it atrophies. Betray it and it retreats. And the greatest betrayal is slipping back into the old performance, choosing to fit in over staying true, swallowing your truth to keep the peace. Many who touch this light lose it again, not in a dramatic fall, but through 1,000 small surrenders to routine, to shoulds, to fear. The world has a gravitational pull toward the superficial, and if you're not conscious, it can steal your light without you even noticing. The anchor, then, is a life of inner coherence. It's the daily choice, however small, to honor the feeling in your gut, to speak the kind truth, to move toward what makes you feel alive. This isn't about being selfish, it's about being faithful, and that faithfulness is the only fuel the flame truly needs. Because when you are faithful to yourself, your body has no choice but to listen. It begins to reflect that inner alignment. But to build that faithfulness, you first need to learn the language of your own soul. You need to recognize its signs, which have been whispering to you all along. So how do you recognize this? If the gift is often unconscious and its awakening is a journey inward, where do you even begin? You begin by listening to the quiet, persistent language your soul has been speaking all your life. These aren't grand, mystical events. They're the subtle textures of your everyday experience, the very things you may have dismissed as quirks or weaknesses. Let's walk through them. See if any feel like a mirror. The first and deepest signal is a lifelong sense of being different. Not better, not worse, but other. As if you arrived with a slightly different operating manual. As a child, you likely felt worlds apart from your peers. You didn't understand why certain rules or social games felt so hollow, why you were so deeply affected by a harsh word, a sad movie, or the tense atmosphere at home when no one was arguing. This wasn't an overreaction. It was your system, your innate antenna picking up on subtler layers of reality. This leads directly to the second signal. Your energy is selective. You feel environments and people viscerally. Some places drain you in minutes, a crowded mall, a tense office, leaving you inexplicably exhausted. Others, like a quiet forest or a cozy corner, feel like a balm, replenishing you. The same goes for people. You can meet someone and feel an instant, soul-deep resonance, or a need to retreat after just a few minutes of small talk. This isn't being antisocial. It's your energetic body giving you direct feedback about what nurtures or depletes your flame. Then there's the phenomenon of strangers' confessions. People you've just met or casual acquaintances find themselves telling you their deepest struggles. It happens at the grocery line, at a party, in a waiting room. They say, "I don't know why I'm telling you this." You may not have any advice, but you offer a space free of judgment. This isn't just empathy. It's a form of energetic clearness you carry. You become a safe harbor, a mirror where others can see their own truth. Pay attention too to your dreams and your body. Vivid, symbolic, or even precognitive dreams are common. Your unconscious mind works as an active channel, and your body often speaks the language of energy you've absorbed. Unexplained fatigue, a sudden tight throat when you're not speaking your truth, a heavy chest in the oppressive situation, these aren't always just stress. They can be your physical self translating energetic or emotional burdens you've picked up. Perhaps one of the most telling signs is the moments of unshakable knowing. You're going about your day, and from nowhere, a crystal-clear certainty drops into your mind. It's not a thought you piece together. It's a download, a truth about a situation, a person, or a path you must take. It feels calm and absolute. That's your intuition, the voice of the gift, cutting through the static of everyday thought. Living with this sensitivity can feel like a burden. The world isn't built for those who feel this intensely. You may have wished more than once to simply turn it off, to be normal. That feeling of being an outsider, of carrying a weight others don't see, is part of the package. But here is the pivotal shift in perspective. That intensity is not your curse. It's your guidance system. The pain comes not from the sensitivity itself, but from being told to ignore it, from trying to navigate a loud, bright world with your eyes squeezed shut to your own inner compass. So look back. Connect the dots of your life through this lens, the childhood strangeness, the visceral reactions, the intuitive hits, the healing presence you unknowingly hold for others. This isn't a random collection of glitches. It's a coherent pattern. It's the signature of the gift. And if you see yourself here, the next question becomes urgent. What is quietly working against this beautiful, sensitive system you have? What in your daily life is putting that delicate flame at risk? Recognizing the pattern is the first liberating step. But with that clarity comes a new responsibility: protection. Because this gift, this sensitive and radiant energy system, exists in a world that is often unintentionally hostile to it. There are silent, insidious forces, thieves of energy, that work daily to dim your light, often disguised as normalcy, duty, or even love. The most pervasive thief, the compulsion to please. It starts small, laughing at a joke that wasn't funny, agreeing to a task that drains you, silencing your opinion to keep the peace. Each act of self-betrayal to fit in or be liked is a brick in the wall between you and your authentic core. You might gain approval, but you lose vitality. The gift cannot operate in a theater. It needs the truth of backstage, raw and unfiltered. Living for others' applause is a sure way to watch your inner light slowly fade to a dimmer setting. Then comes the constant noise. Our modern world is a barrage of stimuli, notifications, news cycles, social media comparisons, endless digital chatter. For a system wired to perceive subtleties, this is an existential assault. It's like trying to hear a whisper in a hurricane. This overstimulation doesn't just distract you, it scatters your energy, pulling you from your center. You become reactive, anxious, and perpetually drained because presence, the native state of the gift, becomes impossible. Without a quiet center, the flame flickers wildly, threatening to go out. Perhaps the most painful thieves are toxic relationships, not necessarily overtly abusive ones, but those that invalidate your sensitivity. The people who roll their eyes when you're overwhelmed, who tell you you're too much, who require you to shrink your energy to match their comfort zone. These relationships are energy leaks. They teach you through 1,000 subtle cuts that your authentic self is unacceptable. No amount of meditation or self-care can replenish what is constantly siphoned away in these dynamics. You are, quite literally, giving your power away. Closely linked is the thief of unexpressed truth. Every time you swallow your words, When you bite back tears or swallow anger, you create a blockage. The energy of that emotion has to go somewhere, and it turns inward. It becomes a lump in the throat, a weight on the chest, a knot in the stomach. The body, your sacred channel, becomes a storage unit for everything you dared not say. This isn't just stress, it's stagnated life force. The gift flows, it does not pool. When you dam it up, you not only age your spirit, you send distress signals through your flesh. We must also talk about mental consumption. You are not just what you eat, you are what you consume with your eyes and mind. A diet of fear-based news, cynical conversations, gossip and violent entertainment is low vibrational fuel. It coats your sensitive inner lens with grime. The gift is a high-frequency instrument. It cannot play cleanly through static. Feeding on negativity is like expecting a rose to bloom in poisoned soil. And then there's the sophisticated thief of relentless self-expectation. The inner drill sergeant pushing you to do more, be more, achieve more. This isn't about healthy growth. It's about proving your worth through exhaustion. The gift needs space, silence, and rest to breathe. It cannot flourish in a life ruled by a punishing to-do list. When you are constantly chasing a future version of yourself, you abandon the present one, the only place where the gift actually lives. Recognizing these thieves isn't about casting blame or living in fear. It's about cultivating awareness. It's realizing that your energy is your most sacred currency, and you get to choose where you spend it. So what do? You begin to guard your flame. You learn to say no as a complete sentence. You curate your environments and relationships with fierce tenderness. You grant yourself permission to disconnect, to be still, to feel what you feel, and express it honestly. It is a daily practice of choosing yourself. And each time you do, you'll feel a small click back into alignment, a softening in your shoulders, a deeper breath. This is your energy returning home. And from that protected, sacred space, you can begin to not just defend your light, but actively nurture it into a stronger, steadier blaze. Awareness of the thieves is your shield. But a shield alone isn't enough to thrive. You must also learn to feed the fire. This is the move from defense to cultivation, from protecting a fragile spark to nurturing a resilient, warming flame. These are not complicated rituals, but simple, profound practices that whisper to your soul, "I see you, I am here with you." The first guardian, and perhaps the most powerful, is intentional silence. Not the silence of suppression, but the silence of creation. It is carving out moments, even 5 minutes, of pure, uninterrupted stillness. No phone, no podcast, no task. Just you, breathing, in a room. In that quiet space, the static of the world fades, and the subtle voice of your intuition, your inner knowing, can finally be heard. It's in this silence that your scattered energy collects itself. It's not about emptying your mind, but about returning to the quiet hum of your own being. This is where the gift reorders itself. Next is the practice of energetic integrity in relationships. This goes beyond seeking positive people. It's about courageously choosing proximity to those who see you and celebrate the real you. People with whom you don't have to edit your thoughts, soften your intensity, or explain your need for solitude. One conversation with someone who truly witnesses you can restore weeks of energetic depletion. Your circle may become smaller, but each connection becomes a source of mutual fuel, not drain. It is the act of building a tribe that reflects your true frequency. Then there is the profound healing of elemental reconnection. For a soul sensitive to energy, concrete and screens are a prison. Your spirit craves the raw, intelligent frequency of nature. This isn't about a scenic hike for Instagram. It's about grounding your bare feet on soil, letting sunlight touch your skin without filter, listening to the wind without labeling it, immersing yourself in water, walking under trees. These acts aren't just pleasant. They are recalibrations. Nature's steady, patient rhythm pulls your nervous system out of man-made frenzy and back into its natural harmony. It is the ultimate reset button. Don't underestimate the guardian of unedited expression. This is the practice of releasing the inner world to the page, to movement, to sound. Keeping a journal where you pour out fears, joys, and confusions without judgment. Dancing alone in your room to music that moves your soul, not to burn calories, but to let energy move through your body. Singing, even if you're bad at it. These acts are pressure valves. They prevent your inner world from becoming a sealed chamber of stagnant energy. Creativity, in this sense, is not a talent for the few, it is a life-saving channel for the sensitive. And we must speak of embodied presence. This is the choice to inhabit your body as a friend, not an enemy or a project. It's feeling the soles of your feet on the floor as you wait in line, noticing the taste and texture of your food, taking a deep breath and feeling where it sticks. When you bring your awareness into your physical vessel with kindness, you stop living in the abstract anxiety of the mind and anchor in the now. This anchors the gift firmly in the physical world, allowing it to manifest. Finally, cultivate permission for imperfect joy. The pursuit of a spiritual life can become grim if it's only about facing shadows. The gift is also sustained by laughter that bends you double, by savoring a perfect piece of fruit, by watching a silly video that sparks genuine delight. This isn't frivolous. Joy is a high-frequency energy that cleanses and revitalizes your entire system. It is the sound of your soul remembering how to play. These guardians are not items on a spiritual to-do list to be checked off. They are loving gestures. They are ways of saying day after day, "This energy within me is precious and I will partner with it." As you do, you'll notice the shifts, not necessarily in the mirror first, but in a growing sense of inner solidity. A peace that doesn't mean the absence of trouble, but the presence of a steady light within it. And from this fortified, nourished center, you begin to discover that this gift was never just for you. It comes with a purpose and with unique abilities asking to be used. This brings us to the heart of the matter. Nurturing this inner flame isn't an act of self-improvement. It's an act of preparation. Because this gift doesn't exist in a vacuum, it isn't a decorative light meant only to beautify your own life. It is a functional, sacred instrument, and it arrives with a set of hidden tools, unique talents that have been whispering to you all along. Ignoring them doesn't just mean missing out. It causes a deep, spiritual sickness. Peace reside. The first of these tools is depth perception. You don't just see situations, you perceive the emotional layers, the hidden tensions, the unspoken truths beneath them. You read the room in a way that feels instinctual. This isn't paranoia, it's a sophisticated form of sight. When honed, it allows you to navigate complexity with wisdom and offer others the profound relief of being truly seen. It likely contains significant pain, loss, or periods of deep darkness. This isn't a flaw in your story. It is part of the design. You have an innate capacity to not just endure pain, but to metabolize it, to transform grief into compassion, betrayal into boundaries, confusion into a search for deeper meaning. You don't just bounce back, you break open and grow new strength from the broken places. Your words carry weight. This is the talent of conscious speech. It's not about eloquence, but about resonance. You may have noticed that what you say lingers in the air, for better or worse. A simple truth from you can shift an atmosphere. A careless word can cut deeply. This is because you're not just communicating information, you're channeling energy. To offer words that mend and clarify is a sacred responsibility and a powerful form of healing. Perhaps the most impactful is your healing presence. This isn't about doing anything, it's about being. In your authentic, grounded state, you naturally calm chaos. People and animals relax around you. Spaces feel lighter. You become a living sanctuary. It allows others to, momentarily, find their own coherence. It is a passive, radiant form of service. But to sustain it, you must fiercely protect your own energy. You cannot pour from an empty, chaotic cup. And there is instinctive creation. You have an urge to make, to shape, to express. It might be writing, gardening, cooking, building, or arranging things. This isn't about becoming a famous artist. Take the unseen, ideas, feelings, visions, and give them form in the visible world. This act of creation is a release valve for your soul and a way of literally manifesting your inner light into reality. Finally, there is the quiet anchor of your inner compass. Even when you're lost, a part of you knows the direction home. It's that gut feeling, the deep yes or no that arises without logic. You can lose everything external, but if you can still hear that whisper, you can rebuild anything. So, What is the ultimate purpose of carrying this gift? It is not to become a guru on a stage. It is far more humble and far more profound. You are here to be a bridge. You are a living bridge between the soul's deep truth and the world's noisy surface. Your healed scars, your quiet perception, you hold a frequency of what it means to be truly human. You give others permission, simply by existing as you are, to remember their own truth. Your presence becomes a touchstone of the real in a world of performance. This is why your energy feels youthful. It's not the youth of naivety, but the youth of a spring that continually renews itself because it is connected to an eternal source. Remembering to remind everyone around you that there is a different, more beautiful, more authentic way to be alive. Your gift is your responsibility, and your responsibility is your liberation. The flame is lit. Now carry it forward,